Wow. Okay. All right, guys. All right. I'm seeing
I'm
it
feeling
now.
really attacked right now.
I'm seeing it now. Like, what is the reason for that? Wow.
I'm feeling really singled
Hey,
out and
man.
attacked. All
I
right.
can even.
I can see it now. Now I can see it. Guys. I can see it now. Fucking Joe. What's going on, everybody? This is your Immoral Afro Josh, and here today I want to talk about a little bit of a controversy that is plaguing the video game industry as we speak. As we all know, SJWs and gaming just don't quite mix because one is for a specific agenda that affects all of us, while the rest is, just gaming, and gamers just want to be left alone to our devices, our games, and just want to enjoy doing what we do best, gaming. But I'm pretty sure you heard of another issue plaguing Battlefield 5, and that is the apparent censorship of certain words. And no, I'm not talking about terrible, evil words like the dreaded N-word or a swear word like shit or fuck. I'm talking about the worst word of them all. These two words that absolutely need to be censored, and that is white man. Yeah, I know, right? Terrible. Now, it has come to light that if you were to type in these words in the chat log for Battlefield 5, it'll be censored along with a few other words being DLC and some other things. But the words I want to focus on today is white man. Now, we don't quite know why these words are censored. Clearly, they're not exactly derogatory or terrible in any way. You can type in brown man, black man, Asian man, as Joe did on his latest video, to see that all of those phrases are a-okay. But white man, for some reason, is deemed a little too offensive to be expressed in a chat box in a World War II-esque, gotta put quotations, shooting game. Now, we can only speculate as to why this is the case, but I have a pretty good feeling I understand why this happened, because I don't think this was an accident. We're jumping into assumption territory now. I don't have any 100% empirical data to back that I know exactly what it is that caused that, but this is just an educated guess coming from me, because as we all know, Battlefield 5 has become the latest victim in the SJW purge of ideas. From one of the main guys behind the game, Patrick Soderlund, pretty much calling out the I guess the demographic or the fans of people who like Battlefield, which predominantly white, calling them uneducated and telling them not to buy the game because apparently their interests don't align with his reasoning behind why the game has underwent its changes, via having women fight on the front lines, in which we all understand there were women fighting in World War II. They just didn't do any of the things that were in the trailer, holding cricket bats, fighting in the front lines, and had prosthetic arms. From what I understand, they were mostly snipers, Russian snipers. Now, I'm not the biggest World War II history buff, but that's just to give you an understanding of what the issue on that was. And yeah, and it just seems like the SJW mentality has, pretty much claimed another victim, this time Battlefield. And I wanted to talk about why it is such an issue in gaming, because any competent gamer who just enjoys playing video games doesn't give a rat's ass about any of those things. Unfortunately, SJWs do, and they take it so seriously to the point to where you're basically not allowed to have fun the way you want to. You have to do it their way. And another game that's been plagued by this virus is Dead or Alive 6. Because now that game is going through changes for no reason whatsoever than to appease people who never cared about the game in the first place. It's time to tone down the sexuality because that alone was what was ruining the game all these years. Now, I've said it in a a previous video about Dead or Alive. I'll put a link in the description and a annotation in the video so you can go back and see for yourself. The fact that they're choosing to tone down or make changes to the game that aren't necessary shows what type of direction that these people want gaming to go. Everything has to be politically correct. Everything has to be done this way. You gotta clear a moral background check made by some of the most immoral people of all time, which is it's ridiculous, and it is ruining gaming, and it sucks because like I would rather just play the game and just enjoy the game, have fun with the game. In the case of Dead or Alive 6, Shimbori, for some reason, I don't know what came over this guy, feels like or felt like he needed to address the issues with his game by talking to some of these people who, probably, like I said, had no interest in the game, have done nothing but spread negative perception about the game, to the point to where Dead or Alive Extreme 3, the spin-off game for fans, the volleyball game, was pretty much, you know, wasn't canceled, but it wasn't allowed to be sold by major publishers over here in the West, or it wasn't allowed to be sold in the West, in America. And the reason behind that was because of all of the faux outrage generated by SJW saying that the game is sexist. It looks at women in a derogatory way. It's not realistic. It's not this. It's not all this shit that, you know, people who enjoyed the games didn't care about, because why? They're video games. They're video games. It's just I forgot the fan service. Now, whether or not you got into the game for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, because the big thing that I want to, you know, point out here is what it means to become a fan of a game franchise or a game. You know, I got into Dead or Alive when I was young. It was like 2003, 2002, or earlier than that, because I played Dead or Alive 2 for the Dreamcast, so I'd probably say 99, 2000, 2001. And yeah, I was young, and when I saw Yana and those big boobies, like I was like, oh, this game has got my attention. Now, of course, what drew me into it wasn't the fighting, it was how attractive the women looked. And when I learned that it was a fighting game, I started seeing all these cool things like, wow, interactive environments, freaking floor collapses. You know, that happened in Dead or Alive 2. They did that way before Tekken incorporated it in their fighting game system. And I grew to love the franchise. Now, my reason for getting into the franchise may not pass some morality test, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, like, when you want to get into a game, you see certain things that draw you in. You don't get into something and then complain and then try to change it. You don't do that, and that's the case for Battlefield 5 now. It's having all these changes being thrust into it, and they're not changes that appease the fans of the franchise. It's changes that appease people who don't even give a shit about this game, who just want to check off these stupid requirements that no one cared about before. No one cared about them. No one interested in the game anyway. And because I believe it was an interview with Patrick Soderlund where he said, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna bring up some stupid story about why my daughter felt this certain way about the game, so I decided to do this to the game because I thought it was just the best thing to do. You know, no offense to this guy's daughter, but what the hell does she have to do with a World War-esque game? Doesn't make any sense. So that's why when, you know, I kind of criticize Joe when he says, like, now I'm starting to like, what do you mean now? This has been going on forever, for years. You just chose to ignore it until it became so blatantly obvious you'd have to be willingly ignorant to not see it at this point. So there's a lot of beef going on with Battlefield. Now, of course, that's not the sole reason why I think this game may potentially do bad. Like, I don't think it's gonna do, you know, Battlefield's a pretty big game. It's very unlikely that they're gonna suffer harshly from low sales expectations, but judging from the numbers that have come out in regards to the pre-orders, looking pretty low, which to me is good news. You know, when you insult your fans and when you insult your people who want to buy your product, you should fail. In the great market, in this amazing capitalist economy, if that's what you consider a smart move, to sell your product, to pretty much shit on people who are potential buyers of said product, then you get what you deserve what you get. Because your job as a developer or a creator of these goods and services, you're supposed to appease the people who are willing, ready, and able to give you money for them. I thought Battlefield was in a good position after Battlefield 1. They had that kick-ass trailer, completely buried Call of Duty in terms of marketing, because it was what they wanted. It was what people wanted. A true blue World War I style game. I don't know what happened to DICE in between Battlefield 1 and 5. It's like someone just, the company just hired a bunch of idiots. But yeah, it's pretty much what it's what I mean when I say, when you get into something, that's what you need to be willingly and understandable, accepting of what this new thing you're getting into has to offer. Because it doesn't make any sense for you to come into something and complain. Bill Burr said it best when he had an interview with this woman, and she asked him a stupid fucking question like, can women be funny? It's questions like that show you the mindset of some of these people, like what they're worried about, which equates to nothing. It's a stupid question. It's like, anyway, but I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But in honor of these terrible white people that EA or DICE are trying to convey, part of this mass push to be anti-white, always painting white people in this evil light, which is complete bullshit and straight up racist. I don't understand why they're even getting away with this. It's disgusting. So I'm gonna name off 10 to 15 white men that I thoroughly enjoy seeing on a daily basis because they make me laugh, they entertain me. So here are 15 white people that the Immoral Afro loves to watch. Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Jason Effects, Matt Christensen, Sargon of Akkad, Mr. Medicare, Ryan George, Jordan Fringe, Jordan B. Peterson, Eris. Those are 15 white men that I enjoy watching here on YouTube or just in general. It's where I go to get my fix for entertainment and news and an amalgamation of other things. There's plenty more where that came from, but for the sake of this video, I just decided to keep it at 10. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Is this stupid? Yes. Is this required? Is this necessary? Like I said, I don't think the game's gonna bomb on release, but anything's possible. Who knows? Also, sorry it's been a while since I uploaded. I've been really trying to work on the Shenmue video, but clearly, the universe has different plans. It's been raining non-stop on my only days off for the past 2 weeks, and I would like to be outside to shoot this video, but so far it's just not working in my favor. So I figured I'd just kind of switch gears and try not to fall into that trap that I usually fall into when things don't go my way for a certain video and the video doesn't get done. So in order to circumvent this, I'm just going to focus on my other video projects I have down the line and go with that. But anyway, this is your Immoral Afro Josh. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And don't forget to leave a like. And as always, I'll see you on the next video. Take care.